The next processing model we're going to discuss is prototyping. Okay, so in this video, what is prototyping? A prototype is an early example, model, or release of a product built to test a concept or process. Okay, kaya naririnig nyo, prototype pa lang yan. Ibig sabihin, early release pa lang yan. Not the final version, but just a prototype. Okay, mga early example, early model, early release. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa yan fully refined. Okay, so kailan ginagamit yung prototyping, or when is a prototype used? Okay, a prototype is typically used in one of the following cases. Okay, first is to derive customer requirements. Second, to mitigate technical and architectural risk. Okay, dun tayo sa una muna. When the requirements are not clearly defined, okay, doon natin pwedeng gamitin si prototype. A prototype can be built to derive requirements from the customer. Pagka hindi malinaw, okay, not clearly defined yung requirements. Example, okay, the requirements analysis phase might reveal may conflicting or ambiguous requirements. Okay, hindi malinaw. Then, a prototype will derive discussion and customer feedback to define unique and ambiguous requirements. So, ang gagawing solution is, okay, mag-release ng prototype, then discuss this with the customer. Let's, ano yung magiging feedback ni customer, okay? Ganito ba yung malabong requirements? So, para malinaw, ano yung magiging result, ganito ba o hindi? Okay? Another case where prototypes would be useful is to mitigate technical or architectural risk. For example, okay, yung mga system with complex architecture pero walang supporting or well-known patterns, okay, that will benefit. Okay, so again, example is mga complex architecture with no supporting well-known patterns, okay, will benefit from prototypes to mitigate this architecture risk. Similarly, a system implementing a new technology, ayun yun, yung mga complex like implementing new technology. Okay, so para maging mas malinaw, okay, we can do prototyping. Okay, when implementing a new technology, it can benefit from a prototype mitigating the risk of this technology, kasi yung risk nga naman since bagong technology to, para masukat kung ano yung risk ng bagong technology na to, pwede na tayong maglabas ng prototype. Okay, so let's discuss prototype as a process model versus technique. Okay, kasi pagka pinag-usapan natin is prototypes, okay, when we talk about prototypes, we need to differentiate between a prototyping as a process model versus prototyping as a technique. Dalawa kasi yan. Prototype as a process model or prototype as a technique. When talking about prototyping as a process model, okay, this means the entire software is built and delivered using prototypes. Ginagamit mo talaga siya as process model. Dito ka lang iikot sa prototyping. Ayan, nakikita niyo dito yung cycle. Pag-uusapan with the customer, kung ano yung requirements, tapos gagawan agad ng prototype, i-refine, tapos feedback, tapos gagawa ulit, customer communication ulit, then prototype, hanggang sa maging final version of the prototype. Okay, diyan lang umiikot, walang mga masyadong design, walang analysis phase, walang mga other phases dun sa mga ibang process model. Dito lang umiikot. Pero when we talk about prototyping as a technique, okay, ito, as a technique, prototypes are used as a technique with other process models. Ibig sabihin, may ibang process model, ginagamit mo yung prototyping as a technique. Okay, it is used within a process model. For example, naka-agile ka or nasa RUP ka. Then sa loob nun, okay, sa proseso, gumamit ka ng prototyping. Okay, ganun yun. For example, i-discuss natin in the next lessons, yung Spiral model and RUP. Those models both utilize prototyping, okay, to mitigate risk. Okay, so as a technique, okay, prototypes are set to be throwaway prototypes. Okay, ano ibig sabihin ng throwaway prototypes? Since ginagamit mo lang si prototype as a technique, okay, ibig sabihin nun, after the prototype fulfills its purpose, okay, ano yung purpose na yun? Example, to clarify requirements, or i-check yung risk. Then, after that, i-discard na siya. Gagawa na ulit ng bago. Ganun lang, kasi pang-check lang siya. Okay? Kaya tinawag siyang throwaway prototypes. Alright? So, saan ginagamit ngayon yung prototyping? Again, prototype process models are not that common. Hindi siya commonly ginagamit as a process model. Why? Mainly because it's not that common to have projects with 100% unclear requirements or 100% risky architecture in use cases. Okay, hindi naman common yun na talagang 100% malabo yung requirements. Okay? It's more common to have projects with a certain degree. Certain degree lang ng uncertainty do sa requirements and certain degree of architectural risk. So, in which case, si prototypes, mas na-utilize siya as a tool or ginagamit as a technique, okay, within other process models such as yun nga yung kanina na nabanggit ko, such as spiral and RUP. Alright, so mas ginagamit si prototype as technique or as a tool rather than as a process model. Okay, so in the next video lesson, we'll talk about spiral model naman. Ano yung spiral model?